Yes. Wow. 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 Here
You're
we are.
alive on day 18 already.
Can you believe it? Can you believe it?
To the warrior one. On a big day of a new moon, solar solstice, and the birth of my
Yeah.
of
This is it.
what is it for me in English then? The baby of my brothers,
Your nephew.
my nephew. The birth of my
Your
nephew. He came
nephew.
yesterday night, 22:15. The name Adrian Ishmael.
Yeah.
You're already looking up to the about the roots of the name. What were you just able to discover?
Well, I was really interested because I know that there was this separation between Christians and Jews. I mean, not Christians and Jews, but Jews and the Muslims. But there was the breakaway that happened. And I was looking, and here, the three Abrahamic religions trace their origins to the first two sons of Abraham. For Jews and Christians, it's the second son, Isaac. And for Muslims, it's his eldest son, Ishmael.
Hmm.
So I knew that there was something about the name Ishmael. Yeah, yeah. So, the way they somehow separated out, and I'm not sure why. And I'd need to have a look at what it is about why they went with Isaac and not with Ishmael, because normally the lineage would follow via the sons, the eldest son.
Yes.
So why didn't they pick that? And what was it that Ishmael had done? There's something that I remember, but I can't remember fully. I'd need to find out a bit more to check out. But it felt, when I heard it, it felt really right, if that makes sense.
You mean
I kind of looked
the
at
name? The name
the
felt
name.
right?
Yeah, when I looked, I saw, yes, Adrian, but we had talked about that on the pillar, but my attention went to the Ishmael,
Hmm.
and that was where my attention went. So I was thinking there's something in the date he's born is also something important, because it's for this new era, this new portal. And there's something, and there is something about, many religions seem to have this 500 year kind of gap between them, where there's a change. And now we're on the 2000 or 2400 year change. So yeah, it's making me think about, how we create the new way of being, and his purpose in a way. Yeah. So yeah, that's where
Well,
it
he was
kind of went
definitely
for me.
born on the Lucia Day, because yesterday with two Swedish friends we did a massive meditation, lights meditation.
Yeah.
In Sweden, is one of the biggest celebrations in the year, the
Mm-hmm.
Lucia festival. So he has been born on the lights
Yeah.
festival. This is
Yeah.
even bigger than Christmas in Sweden. And of course, we
Wow.
also did this massive meditation in the Mayan calendar. Was yesterday a massive portal in 2,400 years.
Yeah.
Uh,
Mm.
that's why I embroidered the symbol of the Hunab Ku. This is their sign of the highest light, God, the divine,
Yeah.
which is now ascending to human earth and to help us all to come into light and happiness and abundance. And so it was, from many different perspectives, a very important day. It's like, wow. And like in the midst of the solstice, yeah, which we are having now today. So yeah, and Ishmael, I'm sure this is the bridge aspect,
Yeah.
probably what he
This is it.
brings, because
That.
I talked to his mother. She is from Romania, but as far as we know, no connections to either Jewish, Muslim roots whatsoever. It just came to her in a dream once. This name is important,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
she has to incorporate, to weave the name into it, even if it's the second name.
Mm-hmm.
But it builds bridges, because Adrian is more like the English name. We have got many English names like Robert. I actually chose the name for my younger brother, Robert, and my father is Edward. So we have got we have got Williams. We have got lots of like
You're
British
breaking up there. I
names.
don't know whether it's mine, because it's raining here.
Okay, can you hear me? Hello.
Am I breaking up on your side? Because I didn't
Yes.
hear anything.
Yes.
It's raining here, so it may be my router. So I don't know. It seems to be strong, but it may be that it's fluctuating. So
Oh, well, we are already used to it. Just continue in the midst of all those
yeah,
things, challenges, which
yeah,
are also always part of life. Yeah, what I was saying
yeah.
is like we have got many
So
English names in our family.
yeah,
Like Robert, I chose Robert's name, for example, my younger brother, or my father is called Edward, and we've got many English speaking names. But we certainly have got no Jewish or Muslim names. So it seems to be
yeah.
like a bridge, kind
And
of. It's like the bridge, like the rainbow kids coming now between
yeah,
the worlds, for sure. Mm.
yeah. Well, I just kind of read what it is, why the Jews went with Isaac is because Sarah was Isaac's mother, but her handmaiden Hagar was Ishmael's mother, and that's why there was this discrepancy. Yeah. So according to that, in Genesis, he said he died at the age of 137, of 137 years of age. So, according to Muslim tradition, Ishmael is the patriarch and his mother Hagar were buried in Kaaba in Mecca, under the area demarcated by the semicircular Hijar Ishmael wall. There we are. So that's interesting. So it is about bringing back together the fold by creating that, by bringing the unity back together and bringing people's rightful place back together in a way, because it doesn't matter whether you're born out of wedlock or not. Wedlock is just a man-made thing. Wedding is just, but a child is created of both. Yeah, so it makes sense of that, of him being a bridge. Yeah.
Well, all the children who are coming now, they're rainbows because they bring this new zeitgeist, new energies. So, yeah, very exciting. Very exciting. It's finally here a week later than expected. But he is here. He was probably waiting exactly this special day to be born.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just got in. He just got in.
What do you mean? He just got in? I don't understand.
He just arrived before 12 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, before midnight.
Yeah. So he just come in. Yeah. I'm just going to.
Okay, and today we are meeting the warrior.
Come on.
That's the symbol.
Oh, I don't know what's going on here. I may have to reboot it. I didn't reboot it earlier on. May not get the aura. I may have to do it later. Yeah.
Wait until it comes on, or
no, I'm probably going to have to reboot it because it keeps, every time I try and go into your book to get the picture so that I can, it just keeps messing me around. So I'm going to turn it off and I'm going to turn it back on. And then I'll let it reboot. And you carry on.
Yes. So today, this is the warrior, the sixth circle nav from the underworld. That's why it's all black. Stands for yet another protection.
Right.
The affirmation is, I protect my space, my time, and my own boundaries.
Important boundaries.
Yeah, very important. The usage, support in career and everyday challenging situations. I think a very important symbol for many people who are going through very difficult times, transitioning times at the moment.
Yeah.
Speaking about boundaries, that's been mentioned a few times in our group as well, and all over in my circles here, like of friends. This is a very important part at the moment, to not be overwhelmed or drained.
Mm.
And it's like, for me, it represents like the protection from below and above.
Yes, it looks like you're being supported, and you're being supported down. It's almost like you're staying in this space and being held.
Mm.
For me, yeah. Okay, now I can get the picture. So let me just. Mm. Hmm.
Maybe I should already put on the
You
candle.
carry on. I'll start running it, because we'll do the prayer in a minute.
That's why. Let's just
Let me see
put
if
on
I
the
can
candle and
Yeah.
to call the warrior in with the word prayer. May all beings have happiness and the cause of happiness. May all beings remain free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings remain connected to sacred joy and happiness that is totally free from sorrow. May all beings come to rest in the feeling of security and peace. May all beings be happy, content, and fulfilled. And so be it.
And so be it. And that candle is getting lower now. So we're what, 17 day 17 today. Day 18, 17, 18.
No, today's the 18th. Yeah, the
Day
last
18.
day
So
of
we've only
the
got
circle.
7 more days.
Yes, true, 7 more days. And of course, we are still going to be in the midst of this great conjunction. I was doing the Bereginis on Sunday, 21st.
Mm-hmm.
So we are really in this prolonged portal of big transition.
Can I ask you?
Age of Aquarius.
Can I ask you to do the affirmation, so that I can just the affirmation part, so that we can put it in?
Sure.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I protect my space, my time, and my own boundaries.
Okay.
We can start with an oracle card today whilst you're doing this.
Thank you. Yes. I'm just going to do
The eagle, yeah.
eagle. Yay. Yay. Very nice. Oh, wow.
One of my
Amazing.
power animals.
Yes. Yes.
And this is
Wow.
so interesting because I sent you the email recently about this the Scorpio, the Ophiuchus,
Yeah.
the snake god, and the eagle, and we are in a transition phase.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a very long conversation with a friend about this, who sent it to me. She's a great astrologer. And I felt that I have been in the Scorpio age most of my life because I was very deep, like melancholic, like over 20 years or so,
Yeah.
but always very deep. Yeah, it's like really going always to the lows of the low of emotions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, and then it happened that my son was like such a snake freak, or he is still such a snake freak in a positive way because he knows everything about snakes and he is such a snake lover. Yeah, and through him, I have experienced Kundalini awakening in anything with the snakes. She's always one of my power animals in my shamanic painting, standing for my Kundalini energy, which I learned through many years to
Yeah.
activate for this life force fire, but not get burned by it. So this is the whole wisdom of the snake. And I observed that most recently, like for a few months, I'm more and more in this observer view of the eagle or
Mm.
of the raven,
Mm-hmm.
where I don't get involved anymore, like digging always in this past and the past and everything, because it was important to integrate many parts.
Yeah.
But I no longer feel that I stay there for very long, or I feel that the Kundalini energy is flowing. And if it's not flowing, I've got my exercises, how to bringing back under the
Yeah.
flow. And I find myself more and more resting in this observer view, not get involved with emotions, but observing what is arising, what is the energy for today, what is weaving through me. And yeah, but this is becoming for me more and more the
Mm.
state of being for like where I think for the future I will
Yeah.
stay more and more in the observer view. So this eagle and the birds in general, the raven, very close to me at the moment, and I feel very aligned with this energy. Feels it brings a lot of freedom and
Yeah. Yeah.
wisdom, because a lot of times things resolve themselves from alone without getting involved in them and taking sides or giving advices or anything like that. By simply being present, observing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think, when we learn that we've got those, where we live in this three-dimensional world and we always are interacting with it. So having that ability to be able to recognize and step outside ourselves, as well as be able to step in someone else's shoes, because too often we're in someone else's shoes or we're in our own shoes, busy in a fight. But when we
Mm.
have that observer position, it takes away the feeling, because we're one step back. And I often get my clients to just, when they say I'm frightened, I get them just to say a different word, like I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
And by just doing the word concerned, really moves you backwards or higher. It moves you away from the actual emotion so that you can look at it a lot easier.
Yeah.
So just having that ability really gives us a different sense of inner power with which to make a
Mm.
different choice. That's not running, but the choice is not running us. We're deciding on that choice.
So, and then it's also easier to take the next action,
Yeah.
the right next step from this observer view instead of
Mm.
reacting. Because a lot of times, if we're emotionally involved, we react or we rush too quickly into things. Like um, from this view, it's like this sharp view, like the eagle stands for. You see
Yeah.
much clearer your next step. And sometimes, of course, you have to step in or do things. And it doesn't mean you're totally detached and just sit there and do nothing. That's not how I experience it. But it just gives me more clarity about
Mm.
how to act.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
very nice and relieving state of being. And yeah. Mm.
Yeah. And I think what's really important, I think what I'm hearing there is that this is not an observer position from a disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
This is an observer position from a very fully connected being. Yeah, a very fully connected state of awareness, if that
Mm.
makes sense. Because When we're traumatized, we're often disconnected, aren't we? And we often feel as though we're outside our body. But this is a choice of staying engaged, holding the feelings, and at the same time being outside, where you can control the world in a different way. So it's
This is a very important part what you say, that you still stay embodied, because a lot of times people feel that you're then outside of the body. And I used to feel like that as well. I always used to feel, oh, this is a very detached kind of like a guru way, like, no, I'm just sit there and, you know, not get involved in the everyday or with the body, which is the feminine, you know. But I think you can incorporate, and it needs a certain time of ripening. I needed to do all this integration work, which is the feminine path, for many, many years, to integrate many bodily embodied experiences. And that was necessary to now feel embodied and not detached, and not practice what people call like this trance passing, which happens sometimes as well. You feel like you've been over it and then you get triggered again. No, it's very important if it comes up, and to discover different tools which are appropriate for certain experiences, which I like. So it was necessary to go really deep and to dig deep and do the whole embodied work, to now be able to rise more and say like, yeah, but now I can be more often in this observer view, embodied, but still choosing to be in the observer eye and no longer reacting or being separated from myself. So,
and there's a
very interesting new kind of development for me.
It's powerful. That's very powerful. And also, and I think something there which in the idea of embodied, it gives us the ability to be that compassionate person, so that a compassionate observer rather than a non-compassionate observer, which a lot of people can end up being. So if we're not staying in this embodied state, because the presence gives us compassion, presence gives us the space to honor the person, and at the same time have the space that allows us to see the wood from the trees and just be. I think it's such an important phase. And so good that you're there now, or you're there more often.
I really feel it, that is like the last few months, that it's really coming more and more. And also, like when I was reading about these different types, that's where I started to feel into it, where I am at this, where I feel most called to. And this became aware to me, oh my God, I can really associate myself with this experience more and more of this bird view and rising and it's very new. But it does fill me with excitement, to live into this new phase of experience. Very interesting.
And and I think the most beautiful thing about that is that you gift people your presence and you allow them to rise with you. And I think that's a beautiful gift to be able to give anyone.
Yeah, because the sky is limitless.
Exactly.
The heaven is limitless. Everybody has got a space there. We don't have to compete.
I know. Isn't that a wonderful thing, because then when you really start to recognize you're just being yourself, you just accept that and you just make decisions that are from a different space. And just noticing.
And the eagle is the emblem of the Kazakh flag.
Yes.
Nice.
And also America, it's the Americans particular one, isn't it, as well?
I don't know about that, but I would not be
It's
surprised.
not on the flag, but it's their emblem. They have the golden eagle.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to do your rune now, or let's do?
Yeah, I can do my rune. It's right next to me.
It will not ruin you.
It will definitely not ruin me.
If anything, it's going to make you better.
Again, the equus.
Oh wow, the horse.
The horse rune, my soul rune. And today, solar eclipse covers the sun completely, so our soul purpose can be very unclear. So I think the eagle can help us again if we feel into it, even if it's really dark, just rise above it, and then we still have got a very good view, inner view of our path. And sometimes it's just surrender, even if we don't see it.
Yeah. And I love it that it's heart shaped.
Yes, me too.
Well, it fits with Mem, with water and mother in the Kabbalah. So the letter and the letter Mem. So yeah, it makes all the sense in the world.
And it's a combination, that's why it's always also represented for twins, because those are two Lagos runes together.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Coming together. So it's like the water. Lagos stands for the water, and it's also for Gemini. The Gemini are like the twins, it's often represented as with twins.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
I'm just thinking it. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
No. I was going to say something, but it actually wasn't correct, because I was thinking of la gouche. I thought la gouche meant water in French, but I'm not sure. At least la douche rather. Watch, but I'm not sure. I can't remember.
Well, in French it's l'eau. L'eau.
The law. Yeah.
Apostrophe E-A-U. L'eau. It's water.
Yeah.
But it has got the root of it is from la gouche, yes.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. L'eau, la gouche, it's the same Indo-Germanic roots.
Yeah.
I was saying because our soul is often also our twin.
Yes.
Siberian shamanism, they always speak about the twin soul, like the sur. It is us, but it's our higher selves.
Yeah.
And it's called twin soul.
Yeah. 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 And yeah. So I'm just thinking, if you turned it around, you get the letter W.
True. If it's reversed, because a rune can of course be reversed, and then you've got the W.
And that's interesting.
Woman.
Yeah.
Mother, woman.
And in the reversed, what happens? What is that in reversed? What does it mean?
Well, it's usual disconnection from your soul purpose.
Right.
Disconnection from your higher self.
So you're disconnected from your waters, basically.
Disconnected from your waters. Nothing is moving. Yeah. You're stuck literally because you're not in the flow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Feel separated, like what we mentioned in the beginning. Sometimes we feel like that in life, don't we?
Yeah. Right. Okay. So that's the I had it. Why did I move? There. I'm not going to move. So it's more or less, it's quite light, but it's because yesterday was purple. Do you remember? At the end, and green, but more diffuse. And this is still very diffuse, but this is kind of more light pink, perhaps. And there's white around here. So it feels like it's moving more into an etheric kind of space. So which number is which one is this Prav here? It's the fourth in circle 6, isn't it? It's the third one.
The third one is the last one, is for the Prav, for the underworld.
For the underworld. Okay. Interesting. So it just feels that there's a shifting of energy. So I'm not sure what it actually is going to represent once we've done a balance. But it may be, I mean, we're going into the solstice, so not the solstice, into the darkness. So it may be that this is where things are shaking up around, and there's a little bit of instability. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it may be reflecting that. We'll see. Well, I'll do a balance, and then we'll see how it transpires, what comes next. Okay, come on. Okay. I'll just say one item in there. I don't want that item in there.
And of course, I'm also very curious about the tarot card.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. The tarot card, interesting, is the 4 of Swords.
Mm-hmm.
So the 4 of Swords sits on a tree in Chesed, which is about is the area of our heart and love. The area of Givura is number 5, and it sits with is courage. Yeah, but they both are part of the heart. So it's the Jupiter of the sparkling heart, and Jupiter is the biggest planet, and Jupiter is really all about a lot to do with love.
How conjunct Saturn, isn't it? That is,
yes,
is really part of this whole conjunction coming up.
Yeah. So what we're seeing is people doing their work. They're quietly doing their work. I'm curious about what's happening here, which is someone's talking and kneeling. So I'm curious about what that is. But the 4 of Swords is also in the Rider-Waite pack, is that you're lying down and you've got these 4 swords, these 3 swords crossing you and 1 up. So that, let me just grab, I can show you a picture of it. Let's just grab, let me show you what I was talking about. Let's just get the swords out for you. So the 4 swords is, whoopsie daisies there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you see it's very quiet, and you've got these 3 swords going down and 1 sword across.
Mm-hmm.
So the alchemy of the air, which gathers the vessels of all struggles, anxieties, and offspring, the noisy vices of excess, hypocrisy, and tyranny. So basically, what it is rest from strife. This is a temporary rest from strife.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess for today, it really is going to be about really taking care of ourselves and protecting our boundary. And I think this fits with the Beregini that we have today, which is protecting boundaries. Yeah.
Just like an inner warrior, really.
Yeah.
Being an inner warrior, not going out there and fight and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Dealing with the thoughts that are coming up inside. So because Swords is very much a mental card, they're the part of air, really, And air is really our head, our what goes on in our head, and our thoughts that affect our thinking and often bring up a lot of negative thoughts and emotions. So this is temporary mental there's a reprieve. So yeah, it's about guarding that on yourself. But because it sits along the conjunct number 4 on the tree, it's about the tree tells you how to deal with it, and which is about how to deal with it is about love. It's about giving love to that part of you, or that part where all the battles are. Give yourself some more love. So maybe today, just really think about how you can truly appreciate yourself. Look at one thing that you can truly appreciate, and just go, you know what? Even though things are going badly there, I really, really, really appreciate that you're just taking this time to sit down. Could be something as simple as that.
Yeah, it's like the EFT, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I've been told to always massage every day. There's this timers just as close to my heart, and it's a great exercise. Like even if this and this happening in my life, I still love myself. Yeah, and just do that for a few minutes. It will. Yeah. It wonders. It brings wonders. Just do that. Just do some tapping, for example.
Yeah, so it could be something like just taking some time to do some tapping and do some clear in a gentle way that'll allow you to see a bigger picture, that'll allow your mind to be less troubled.
Yeah. And I take this with me now with the stitching, like even it's a big solar solstice and so many things.
Yeah.
Overwhelming. Like my intercultural calendar. Which I'm working on like since a week, and always little parts like still not right. Like now it's been down to one mistake, like honestly, like one page, whatever I did, it was driving me crazy the last few days. So it could have driven me crazy. This is a good example, but exactly in these moments, instead of going crazy, what I do then, I go out and meditate.
Yeah.
I literally then take a pause, half an hour. I don't look at it. I just meditate, sit myself there or dance. And then I go back, and today at least I uploaded the German version. So
well done.
It's a big step forward. So now, like what Amazon is doing, they say it could take up to 72 hours until they accept it. But at least it's a big step forward that I was able to upload it.
Yeah, because you've been struggling with that.
Yes, I've been struggling because of the different margins, the different dream sites, and that's why you realize and like appreciate that every new task requires like patience and learning. Because even though I already uploaded my book, like the Weirding Way, this is a totally different size. Yeah. And I didn't know that this pocket size is actually quite difficult for KDP publishing. So I'm experiencing all the time the problems, but I still feel, because this is this pocket size like calendar, I want to publish it like this. I don't want to change the size.
Yeah, you want something that's very easy to carry and put it back. That's not going to be too cumbersome, which is why it's pocket size. It seems odd that they didn't have it, but it's a new thing for you, and you're learning so much more than you would have done before. If it had been easy.
Even trying. So now I am trying it. It's like, even though I worked on this calendar for my previous work NGO, I didn't upload it to KDP. We just went to a local printer agency and they printed it. I didn't have this whole problem. This is a new experience to me at the moment. So it has got moments where I thought like, oh my God. But let's hope when the German version is complete, I've done the English translations.
Mhm.
So I hope that with the English ones, then it will go quicker once the German one is accepted and published. I think it's with all new things. It's always not just, oh, do it and it's done. It's like it's a learning experience.
Yeah. And it wouldn't, and if you didn't do it as a learning experience, you wouldn't, you wouldn't get such immense satisfaction from this.
Well, I cannot say it gives me satisfaction yet. I think it will come afterwards once it's done, and when some people buy some copies at least. I'm hoping that especially the local organizations where I used to work with, like that I can spread it ideally here.
Yeah.
That would be nice. And then I will be very satisfied, yes. But not at the moment. At the moment, it's still like, oh my God, hopefully it's going to get through. Hopefully I'm going to get it done because it's coming close to Christmas already.
Because normally normally they tell you pretty much immediately if it's not kind of right, don't they?
Well, that was in the process like of uploading the manuscripts, because then you do the previewer, and that's where it was always rejected, yeah?
Right.
And that's where I had to readjust. So today I was able to upload it. And then it's going to get reviewed now for the next 3 days. What is already clear that it cannot go to this whole KDP advertising because it's outside of their norm, yeah, acceptable norm size. But it doesn't matter. I don't want them advertising anyway. It's not about that for me. I want to stick with this pocket size and to go through with this, with this calendar. And I think it will reach the people who it should reach. I don't aim to with the advertising to reach millions. It's not my intention.
You've done it, and I think that in itself is a massive feat. It's worth celebrating.
Yes, it's so important to also celebrate our little achievements. So once it's reviewed and it's actually up, I will celebrate. I will do a celebration dance. Before I then continue to make the English one. And of course, to do it as an ebook, it's another challenging requirement, because then you need to do the whole document according to the requirements for the ebook.
Yeah.
And they're not accepting the same PDF like for the paperback.
Oh God.
It's just to make clear, it's not as easy as we often think.
Yeah.
I had to learn this now as well. Somebody say, oh yeah, I done it and so, but it's not as easy.
Took time. Yeah.
And each new task requires something new, because otherwise everybody would do it, and there are still tricks and tips of the trade, and we have to learn. I have to think about the book. I've got the book by Dan Millman.
Oh, right. Yes.
I mean, I've got his great book about numerology. I always recommend everybody. But he has also got a great book, The Inner Warrior.
Yes. Yeah. That was my first book I bought of his.
Ah, great.
The role of the peaceful warrior.
The peaceful warrior. Yes.
Mhm.
Even though it's a different one. That is his very first book, The Peaceful Warrior. There's also a beautiful movie
Yeah.
about that. But there is another one which came later on. It's really called The Inner Warrior on German.
All right.
It's like a practice book. Whilst in The Peaceful Warrior, he describes his own transformation and awakening.
Yeah.
This is a different one. Also very good. I'm a fan of Dan Millman.
So what does it say, the numerology part?
Well, the numerology book is this one, like then your numerology, your life number as your path, as your soul path, a life's path.
Yeah.
So this is a very general numerology book about different life numbers. And the book I'm talking about is really a practice book. It's called The Path of the Warrior or the Inner Warrior. It's in German. I've got it in German. And then lots and lots of practices for the everyday, how to be this peaceful warrior.
Mm. Yes, it is a chat. It is a practice to be in that peaceful state. And as you practice, yeah.
And yeah, I've also got the Integral Theory practice book. So that's why we're also working on our journals as a practice book. Everything takes practice, because this is this consciousness, bringing our consciousness either being creative, to the embroidery, or doing movements, certain body movements, or dancing, and or the EFT. There are different practices, but we have to do them. Otherwise, they don't last. They don't become part of our life.
Our embodied life, yeah.
I'm certainly going to have a look at this inside the book again. About the warrior practices by Dan Millman.
So do you think there's anything specific that you're thinking you're needing to add? Or what is it that's attracted you to bring, where does your attention go when you think about the Dan Millman? What is it that is calling you?
Well, I think because as a double Aries, they are connected to the Mars sign.
Mm-hmm.
So at a very young age, I was always very close to this warrior energy.
Yeah.
But it took me almost all my life to get into this more balancing, harmonizing warrior. Lifestyle or being. And that's what attracted me originally to the title of the book and to this path of the peaceful inner warrior.
Mm-hmm.
It has got to do with how to tame your fire in the most productive way. And for me, it's very important because I'm a double Aries.
Yeah. And a
And the
very,
Aries are
very
usually the ones who are in the outside orientated, you know? It's the
yeah.
first sign in life. It springs everything. It's the seed which pops up, which carries so much energy, like the galaxies are in the world's birth. That's how much power there is in this moment when a seed cracks open. And that's the energy of an Aries. This is such power, but if we don't learn how to use it in the most productive way, it can burn us out, it can destroy things. Or you're just outside oriented like the Aries, they're always running, doing things, yes, constantly having new ideas, running,
never grounding.
yeah, often not grounding, very head orientated. That's why they are said like to bang it with their head against the wall if it needs to be.
So yeah, and a lot of the Aries is depicted in the Knight of Wands, going around and around and around and not ground. So that's a very significant aspect for the peaceful warriors, really learning. That's his challenge, to really learn how to grab that energy, to use that energy, utilize it to the maximum.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
But that's probably why you were so determined to be, excuse me, a tennis star, so active in the way that you were, totally driven.
that's, yeah.
When
True.
you were younger, because that's
True.
very Aries, isn't it?
That's very Aries, yes. True. And Aries is the youngest type in the Western astrology sign. Like they're really young.
Yeah.
They bring all this potent energy. It's like being just birthed.
Yeah.
But obviously, a whole lifetime is an experience to deepen and to integrate the different aspects, like not just the fire, but the other elements or the other advantages of the other astrological signs as well. It's like to integrate as much as possible to make it an integral experience and not just focus like on the fire and on the doing on the because this is then very one-sided and can be very detrimental. And this again takes practice. And that's why I was so attracted to the book, because you asked.
Yeah. Now, I was just curious because you brought it up today. So what was there that started to resonate? And so that was just curious about that. That was all. I wondered. You know how you start to think of things and you don't, they just arrive, and you wonder how come you're thinking about that today of all days. So I was just curious about that.
Yeah, what does the warrior bring for you?
I think when I think about the peaceful warrior, I think very much in a way like what you're talking about with the eagle, where you are in that space where you're connected, but you're very aware of your body, and you use your body as a tool to do whatever it is that you want it to do. So the peaceful warrior knows how to, I guess for me, it would be the ideal state of being able to completely be one with all the elements, and be able to direct them at in the direction that we want.
So it's about being one with all elements and with all experience in the body, and direct them in the right direction like we want.
Yeah. That's what it, I mean, I think that being in that space where we can be all of that, I think is be really where we are at our highest potential, I would imagine. Yeah. Trying to see this picture. There we are. Let me have a look at this picture so that I can see 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, for me, it's just being a peaceful warrior. That says it already all.
And I always think about the word warrior and warrior. The difference, you can be a warrior and worry about things, or you can be a warrior and be able to hold. And I always think about the last letter of the words, because OR is or, like gold. So there's something about being, you know, in the way that you have that containment of that structure, like gold.
Yeah. Interesting comparison and of the words as well, which sound so similar, but totally different. Better be a peaceful warrior than a warrior, than a constant warrior. Yeah, should we have a last look at the aura?
Yeah, let's see what's happened as we've moved sewing. Okay. Right. Stop. Let's have a look. I mean, it's interesting because I would imagine having these colors would be more distant in the sense of the original colors that we had. I'm just waiting for this to come in. Okay, so more gold has come in this time. Still got the pink. So there's more gold coming all the way around now. And we've got this purple coming in. And yeah, the background is almost completely gold. And then just the stripes coming in like a download almost. So something shifted in the rest, but it's still it's not as bright, which is interesting. So I'm curious about what that would mean in the sense of what's going on today, and whether there's something about that maybe boundaries don't have to be walls, that we can create energetic boundaries that work. Like gold is a really good energetic boundary to create around ourselves. People use different colors for protection. Someone used the purple flame or the purple light to create to create protection around themselves. But gold is one of the purest colors, so it would be one that would have a much clearer way of having the energetic boundary. If we use more gold, and you could check, and gold will move other stuff. So I'm wondering if that's kind of what that is trying to tell us.
And there are lots of meditations about the golden light and
yeah. So it's
how
kind of
to
bringing
invite
in
the golden light and how let ourselves be filled with golden light.
So it feels like there is maybe it's in the balancing. It's bringing in that golden light for us. Know that we've been thinking about the golden light anyway, of this era. Let's just come in.
Yeah. So thank you for this warrior circle together.
It's been a pleasure, and thank you.
I will have a look, I think, in this book about the inner warrior. Maybe there's like a practice which really comes to me intuitively, and then I can share it. And yeah, I wish everyone well to this highly potent solar eclipse and new moon time. And yeah.
Well, I know that I'm sure that there are going to be some amazing experiences for people. And and I wish them all well. And hopefully we'll be able to hear all about them, so that we can see what their Bereginis come up with, and what was it, what's your idea of what protection is? Does protection have walls? Do we create those internal boundaries? And do we know when leaking and when they're too tight? So I guess my thinking is just really be aware of what kind of boundary is your boundary, and see what comes up. How can you use that boundary?
Okay. How can we use our boundaries in the most productive ways for ourselves and also for others, coming from love and peace? Thank you.
Thank you.
Many blessings. Blagadaru.
Blagadaru. Take care. Speak soon.